Okay, so now that we have created our own custom raised button class, I want to show you a new way of creating custom widgets. So what we're going to do next is to create a new widget called SignInButton, and rather than creating this as a stateless widget, we are going to subclass directly from custom raised button. The goal with this is to make it easier to create a button with a text inside. So because the button class that we are about to create will only be used in the sign-in section of the app, we are going to create a file for it inside the same folder as the sign-in page over here. So we're going to create a new Dart file and we'll call it SignInButton. So here is what we are going to do. We are going to create a new class called SignInButton, and this class is going to extend custom raised button like this. I'm going to quickly import the file. Then this class is not going to define a build method. Instead, we will just create a constructor and pass in a number of properties. And then we will hand over these properties to the constructor of the superclass, which is custom raised button. So let's go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you the advantage of this approach. So here we're going to type in SignInButton, which is our constructor, and then inside we're going to type in some properties. The first one is going to be string text, then color, then color again, but this time text color, and then void callback on pressed. Then what we are going to do next is going to call the super class constructor. So the way we do that is to type in a column, then super, and then open bracket. And inside here, we can pass in some parameters. So one of them is the child. And here we're going to type in text with the text, and then style, which is a text style. And in here we can pass in the remaining parameters that we have created. So text, color, and then for example a font size of 15. Now before I go ahead, I can see that some symbols are missing, so I'm just quickly going to import material from the Flutter package. So now Flutter is happy. And then I'm going to continue with my parameter list. So next I'm going to pass in the color, which is color, and then we're going to pass in the onPressed as onPressed parameter like this, and this is done. Now that I've typed in all the code, let me explain it. So what we have done here is to provide a constructor as a way to supply all the parameters that are needed to create the custom raised button. You can notice that I've not used the usual this.properties syntax that is common with constructors in Dart. The reason is that this class doesn't declare any properties at all. In fact, the way this works is by taking all these properties and invoking the constructor of the superclass, which happens here. Then, in the constructor arguments of the superclass, we pass some parameters directly, such as the color and the onPressed callback. But as you can see, we also create a text object on the fly, and we configure its text and style properties directly. So this is going to make it very easy to use our SignInButton class, and we're going to see how to do that in the next video.